Welcome to Chem 2045 Density of Pennies Lab. In this lab we're going to analyze some data from pennies that were constructed prior to 1982 as well as post-1982. From time to time the federal government changes the composition of pennies, so we are going to validate that through the recording of data. We'll be using 6 sets of 10 pennies made from 1981 and earlier, and 6 sets of 10 pennies made from 1983 and later. We'll do this several times in order to make sure that we have accurate and reliable data. So we're starting with our groups of pennies that were made prior to 1982. Again, we have 10 of them each trial. We're going to take our weigh boat, stick that on, and then tare the scale. We'll record the mass of our 10 pennies. We're going to use Archimedes' principle of displacement. We'll first take our graduated cylinder, we'll add some water to it, record underneath the meniscus, and then we're going to add our 10 pennies carefully so as not to break the bottom of the graduated cylinder, and then record the final volume. From there you have the volume of just the pennies. As stated, we're going to need to repeat this 6 times with the pennies from pre-1982, and then we'll do the same thing 6 times. These are all different sets of pennies, but we'll do it 6 times as well from pennies from post-1982, again just to make sure that we have valid and accurate data that is reliable. So we'll do multiple trials with multiple pennies, but you'll be able to now record this data along the way on the data table as shown at the end of the lab report. Again, that is linked in the description. So as we wrap up our last trial here, you should now have the data that you need in order to validate the government's claim that they have changed the composition of pennies after 1982. You should have the data that gives you an estimate of what the volume of each penny should weigh if it was still the copper content prior to 1982 versus post 1982. So utilizing your data, you should be able to come to a valid conclusion. If this is accurate or if this is not, don't forget to calculate your percent error as shown in the lab report.